and then my boot, I read down my boot. Access to all your social media. Why? What am I unless I have given you reason to doubt me before, unless you have caught me cheating before, unless I've done something funny.
Listen,
it is a red flag for me. I am not a child.
Good evening to you wherever you are. My name is Mami Enumabeko. You know how we do it every Thursdays. We bring you nothing but insightful conversations, and of course it gets heated once in a while, and we also have to deal with your mouths at home, but I guess that's why we're here. But tonight is even about to get more juicier because that's what Toast is about, right? Yeah. But before anything, I would like to acknowledge our proud sponsors, which is GBH Hair Relaxer Cream. Ladies, our go-to when it comes to treating our I mean, given the hair good crack.
I know,
right?
I know.
Some cracks are good.
Because the nappiness, sometimes you get rid of the nappiness. So the relaxer relaxes, right? I love it, I love it.
Okay. Well,
I don't think I really can relate.
Because I have natural hair.
I'm a natural girl. Yeah.
Have you ever had an experience, have you always been natural actually?
Maybe when I was a young girl, but after senior high school, I always knew I wanted to do natural hair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I can't relate, but I'm told it's a good product, and I see you guys using it. So
no, but they have other products. So,
okay, for natural hair.
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
To texturize it and
to
all
make
that.
it soft.
You like it soft hair?
Very soft.
Love it for you. Okay, so I am in the studio with my amazing guest, and tonight, before we even jump into the topic, like I said, you can always get interactive with us on all our socials at GHOne TV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And let's keep pushing the hashtag, which is hashtag Toast. We have the beautiful Lordina, aka Abnamwe.
So now, like, you will forever call me Lordina. Like,
is Lordina not your name?
Thank you. Is that why I introduced myself to you?
Okay, Abnamwe.
What did I introduce myself to?
They know you as Abnamwe, but we know you as Lordina.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, and then we have.
Okay, now I'm even the first lady. I'm sorry. Yeah, call me that.
No, you have to wave like this.
Yeah. Oh.
Henceforth.
Yeah. Her Excellency.
Yeah.
And I'll say Empress.
There you go. 2025. I refuse it in Jesus' name.
But we also have the beautiful. I love your accessories
today.
I'm giving you your vibes,
You are giving your two first daughter. Are you sure?
Baby, like gold.
Yeah. Are you an Ashanti?
I'm Ghana, partly from Jamestown, British Accra.
Oh, okay. But today you're giving Otikoko Swanana vibes.
I just wanted to, I woke up this morning. I wanted to just do something out of the blue because I know my style, and I'm like, let me just try something. But is it working?
It is. You're giving Rihanna and all. Yes.
Thank you. Yes. I feel flattered. Thank you.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you on board this evening. We also have Dr. Kelly in the building. He's here to divide the set. It's good to have a man in once in a while.
Yeah, it's once in a while. Emphasis on the
once in a while.
Because that gender, you deserve everything that comes to
period. Dr. Kelly.
Nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Okay.
It's been quite a while, I should say. Yeah, it's been a while. About a year? Maybe more. A while.
Okay. Well, we'll get into how the year has been so far. But before anything, Abna, I'm loving the outfit.
Oh,
and I think I know where this is from. It's from Shop Sugar Coated, right?
So today, baby,
I
am sugar coated. Thank you.
Okay, so are you coated in sugar or your?
Yes, it's sugar is coated in you.
Sugar coated in you.
I'm naturally sweet already, so I think sugar is already. The sugar is me, and I am the sugar.
Yeah,
the sugar
but you're just spicing it up a little.
Are one.
Yeah, I feel you, baby.
Yeah. Thank you.
You look good.
Yeah.
Now I say
2025, decency, no trouble. Y'all not getting me in this room anymore, and you out there, leave me alone.
That's good.
Yeah, so sugar coated, please. Sugar coated. Yeah.
Okay. I love the fact that you guys have been saying 2025, new year, new me. I've not too stated the same.
I said nobody should change.
Nobody should change.
Yes.
Okay.
I said it's not important.
It's not important.
You don't need
just be yourself.
Or begin to change something you don't like about yourself. It doesn't have to be. January 1st is just another day. So it doesn't have to be January 1st or December 31st. It could be in July. It could be in September. You can do it.
Yeah. Okay, Dr. Kelly.
Right.
I mean, it's been a while since we had you on this set, but what are your expectations for tonight's show?
Well, I expect to give value. As a consultant, what people look out for is solutions. So I'm just coming to see how to strike balances and making sure everyone goes home with truth, and that should suffice.
Okay, well, you've heard it from Dr. Kelly. He's here to add value and also to strike balance. And of course, with the ladies here as well, I can't really tell what they have up their sleeve. But all I know is we're taking a quick commercial break, and we'll definitely be right back. Stick and stay with us. My name is Mame Inimwabeko, and of course I am on this set with Lodina aka Abnamo Way. We also have Ganyubi Achawa, and then we have our special guest for tonight, Dr. Kelly, who is here to add value and also to strike balance right here. But let's just tonight's topic. I know the balance, dear, will definitely balance, but whether it's someone being overly controlling, constantly lying, or avoiding commitment, red flags come in many forms. The interesting thing about all of this is that it could sometimes be very hard to spot because love can make us see the best in people. Therefore, making it difficult to leave the relationship becomes very difficult. And tonight we discuss red flags in relationship. I'm going to start with Dr. Kelly because this is his field.
Yeah.
You know, how would you describe red flags?
Thank you. I'd like to describe red flags synonymous to weaknesses. That's going to be the best way to help you understand what a red flag is, because most times you don't even know what red flags are. There's a difference between a red flag and a weakness. And so a weakness is not a red flag and a red flag is not a weakness. But then we interchange the two. Now, a red flag, let me start with a weakness. A weakness is a thing that you have discovered is not beneficiary to you or to anybody else, which you have accepted and acknowledged you're working on, and you don't mind your partner or anybody who cares to help you work on. That's a weakness. A red flag, however, is a character of yours, toxic to you, toxic to your spouse, and toxic to anybody else who cares to come close to you, which you have either refused to acknowledge and work on, or you actually know and you say, this is how I am. That's a red flag. So red flags are more possible, permanent, ignored traits of a person that would be toxic. And weaknesses are things that you, once you've acknowledged it is a weakness, it's no longer a red flag. But for us to call it a red flag, it's not something you are willing to let go of, and it's not something you're willing to identify. So yeah, that's what a red flag is.
Okay, Abna, how about you?
I used to think, red flag came from the internet, so it's not like it's an English word. I think we created it. So I understand this as somebody's toxic trait, but then, like he said, there's a difference. There are some people's toxic traits that they want to work on, because we all have weaknesses, like he said. But the toxic traits where I think I'll just agree with him that you don't want to work on them, and then you want to say I'm just who I am. That is a red flag.
Sometimes just to pass, you could just keep saying I'm sorry just for the sake of it, so that okay, at least I've said sorry, so let's move on. But you're gonna do it again.
Sometimes
and again.
Something they would even apologize for. It's like an attitude. I don't know how
No,
to
for courtesy's sake, they might just say I'm sorry, but deep down, Charlie, this has happened way too many times, and now that's a red flag.
Okay, can you be?
Yeah, for me, I think red flags are characteristics and traits of a person that they have, and it's who they are. So it's either you adjust or you leave. So if I realize that one red flag is a man who wants 50-50. Like, it's a red flag for me in a relationship. I don't mind supporting my partner, but the fact that a guy comes to me and says I want a 50-50 relationship, I can say that you're a thief. You get it? Yeah.
Hey.
So yeah.
Hold on to that. We'll definitely come back to it, because I'm very interested
The stealing part?
Yeah.
No, the statement she just made. But have you ever been told that you are the red flag in a relationship, and how did you respond to that?
I have been told about some things that I do it's not appropriate, but not me as a person. I'm a very confrontational person, that when you do something to me, I would like to tell you there and then that this is what you did to me. But I realized that sometimes the environment is not conducive for such a conversation. But I just would have to tell you, because I'm a very emotional person. If I don't tell you what you did, it would just be with me, and I'll start acting a certain way towards you. So I have been taught that I have to read the environment, read the room, and know whether I can have that conversation there. So that's one red flag about me. Like, I'm very confrontational. You do something to me, I'll do. But
so
not as a
do you
person.
also not feel like saying this is my red flag is just basically, it's a word using it to cover the truth? Because this is, per what you discussed, or per what you just stated, is basically, I can actually say, if someone says this is my red flag, they're basically stating the obvious, stating the fact to say, this is one fact about me. Do you understand? However, I know it's an inconvenience to anyone else, and it's something that
I feel we're all not perfect as a human being. There are things that you do, say, and behave that might not be appreciated by other people. So for instance, I just realized that, when you take a toothpaste, there are people who press the toothpaste from the bottom, but I just press it from the middle.
That is not a red flag.
No, I'm getting to a point. That is what I do. To someone, it might not be appropriate. So for me, I feel like when it comes to red flags, it has to do with something that is who you are. When you want to work on it, you can work on it. But there are some people who say that, okay, with this one, I cannot stand it. So you leave.
So to a certain extent, we also have to accommodate people's red flags.
If it's not detrimental to your mental health, yourself, we can. Because as human beings, we are all not perfect. So if your red flag is something that I can entertain, I can adjust to. But if your red flag is like slapping me, beating me, I can't say that because that is who you are, I would have to stay. No. But maybe your red flag is like when you wash plates, you don't. There are things that I can adjust, but there are things that I would say that no, this is a no for me. I gotta leave.
I think somewhere I would say that red flags, understanding the balance I've already struck, would be a situation where, you see, everyone is good for everyone, for someone.
Yeah.
Everyone, there's no bad person in this world. To what you consider bad is just fine for somebody else.
Yeah.
So a red flag in this context might be seen as what an individual cannot take from another.
Yeah.
Not because somebody else might not take it, but you in context, you in the position, you in question may not be able to take it. There's some men who don't like makeup. Red flag number one, that would be for them. But some other people, they can't wait to see the glow and glam in their women, and they don't even mind investing in it to make sure that their women always look that same way. There are men who like conservative women. And so any woman who shows any form of skin is a red flag for them. So a red flag is individualistically unique based on who is calling what a red flag. Basically so let's not over trash it, over flog it, because red flags are very, very individualistic. What is good for one may not be as good for somebody else. So everyone is good for somebody.
So you mentioned that some men don't like women with makeup, but some women also don't like men with makeup, and they might also consider that
Men with makeup.
Yeah, of course, men don't wake up.
Do you wear makeup?
I don't need it.
Okay.
I might touch it up for camera's sake, for lighting and stuff, but not because I need it to survive, to live as a man. No, I might just do it for the cameras, for coloration balance. That's about it.
Okay. Dr. Kelly, have you ever been told you were toxic, and how did you respond to that?
I can't remember the use of that word in particular, but I've had circumstances where my mannerism was not
flag?
a pleasant thing to whoever it may have been. So yeah, that's the answer to that.
Okay. And how did you respond to that?
Well, I know better now. Then I would have said, what do I care? This is who I am. But the new me now, having known better, would say, oh, really? How? Why? Explain. And if the person is willing to say when and how I used the words or actions I displayed, I will be able to trace to see why I did what I did, to then make the person see what was in the center of my mind when I said what I said or when I did what I did. There's one mantra I have. Not everyone is in your head. In fact, nobody's in your head. So as long as you keep it in your mind that nobody is in your head, behave in such a way that less questions will be asked of your words and actions, so that you are better interpreted without you having to explain.
Okay.
More clarity.
But then, when people then say you are toxic, please do not see it as an insult or something detrimental. Because they may just be having a wrong version of you, and without your explanation with meekness, clarity would not be established, and they just form a notion of you that you could have just cleared from a simple explanation with meekness. Meekness emphasized because you might just say something in a wrong way to even worsen things. So be intentional about making the person see that if you really want to, because not everyone deserves that level of attention. Right? So if you really want to make the person realize that they saw you wrongly, you take your time to explain, but then don't repeat it because you explained it the first time. Find a better way to project your thoughts and opinions and mannerisms so that the person is at a little bit more comfortable place to relate with you again.
I mean, I was reading a certain research about marriage and relationships, and I made comparison between our generation now and the generations before. I'm talking about our grandparents. Is it that they didn't know what red flags were? Because it seems their marriage and their relationships worked better than now. Like now we look at things like, oh, this is toxic, this person's being a narcissist, this person, and when we make up all these descriptions or excuses when it comes to relationship, it almost gives us a reason to walk away instead of actually stay in relationships to actually fix it. Would we say, or would we agree that maybe having these in quote descriptions on or tags for individuals makes it more difficult to actually find relationship and stick to relationships and actually tell yourself? Because I mean, if you didn't know what a red flag was or someone being toxic, and when you find yourself in a friendship, in a relationship, you get to love them with their flaws and all. But now we find ourselves in a generation where this person is toxic, this thing is a red flag, and then the moment we label that, we don't want to make it work, like you said. And I actually love the fact that you stated that we need to accommodate people's red flags. And this is the first time I've actually heard anyone say this. For all I've known, once you know that this person has a red flag, you just walk away. You know. So would we agree that maybe these are some of the petty reasons as to which relationships are actually not working, or people are not willing to put in the effort to make it work anymore?
Mami, you were saying that in the olden times, like way back to our grannies and all that, they were staying through? Is it because there was no, those times, like long ago, women couldn't own properties, so you needed the man. Whatever you had was in the man's name. So most of our grandmothers did not stay because of love. They stayed because when they left, if they left, they would have nothing to their name. Those times there was nothing called educating a woman. We're even now watching movies from 60, 70 years ago where engineering schools had only one woman, 2 women. Women were so accommodating. Then their relationships were working not because of the men. It was because the women had to stay. Our mothers would stay and say, our grannies, not our mothers, because our mothers are even a bit
more gangster
like us. Yes, they might not leave, but they will show the father's shaggy.
Right.
But our grannies and all that, they had, it's like that was the system. They had nothing else.
Right.
So that was, and in our time, you see, when she was saying she takes her toothpaste in the middle, that is not a red flag. We're saying there was a word in my head. I wanted to interject, but I've forgotten. But there are, like you said, weaknesses of people. We call it your butts. Every human being has a butt. So everybody has a butt. That is different from red flag. There are some people, the red flag is like a man who is manipulative. He would isolate you from your family. A woman who doesn't want your family around you just because you're married. They're like serious things that are red flags. I don't think anybody will stop talking to their friend just because you did something to me and I didn't like it and I confronted you. That is not a red flag.
Okay.
I don't think if I take my toothpaste and then I press it in the middle, that is what would ruin my no. But if a man hits you, there are so many things that are so I don't think right now we're trying to label things. No. Then it was called something. It was called abuse. It was called mental abuse. It was called physical abuse. We have added a vibe to it and called it a red flag.
It's a Gen Z term.
It's a Gen Z term, but it has always been there. And I don't think we're not accommodating. We are accommodating, but our generation, we have become more sensitive. First, you would call somebody who can't hear deaf, or somebody who can see blind, but now they say they're visually impaired. Now we have become more empathetic towards people's emotions, and I think it's a good thing. Okay. So it's not like right now we have become, no, we shouldn't be tolerating nonsense. No.
Okay. And Mami, in regards to what you said, I think one, it has to do with exposure and then self-love. I would say exposure because during the time of our grandparents, they didn't know anything about the law. They didn't know anything about, living. They didn't know anything about what happens in society. Now there's the internet. People share the opinion. There are people actually on the internet who are sharing information about abuse and also exposure. People did not even know who a narcissist was. Now people know that these are the traits and characteristics of them. They feed on your energy. They make you look toxic. They make you look like there's something wrong with you. So if I'm doing something to you and you don't even know what I'm doing to you, you won't even know how to react to it. But if I'm doing something to you now and you know that this is what I'm doing to you, you are going to say that, okay, I can't take it anymore, and then you leave. And also talking about self-love, I think that self-love is something new that people are embracing, and they're now understanding how to set boundaries and standards in relationship and normalizing the fact that people will choose who they want to choose. Something that you cannot entertain, someone might not find it. We're talking about the Burkinabe, the president, how he looks and all that. To someone, like, this is something I can't take, but to someone, it's okay, I can manage it. So self-love is something that I feel that it has evolved. People now understand who they are, and when you do something to someone, the person can say that, okay, this is something I can stand, or I'm going to move away. So with regards to your question, that's what I have to say.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you this question. So let's get into some of the things that come across or give red flag signals.
Vibes.
Yeah. So if, number one, if your partner asked you to share your location constantly with him, and sometimes would even ask you to send videos of who you're with or where you are, is that a red flag?
Share my location is not a red flag, because I feel you genuinely want to know where I am. And I think with the sharing of location is something that I struggle with as a person. I don't, in God, we say something like, we are sitting here, I'm going to the washroom, I'll say, I'm going to the washroom, or maybe I'm leaving. I won't tell you, I'll just leave.
When I say sharing your location, I'm talking sharing your actual location.
Where you are.
That's what I'm saying.
No. You know, right now,
Yeah, so like you tell you, I want to know where you are, send me your location.
Yeah. You know, right now, when it comes to iPhone, you can actually share, I can share my location with you, so you constantly know where I am.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That previously I didn't like doing it, but moving forward I've realized that people who genuinely love and care about you would want to know where you are. So if you know that I'm in GHOne or I'm at Ridge now and something happens, you know that I'm here. So with regards to sharing your location, but taking pictures, you know, someone will say, take a picture holding your nose. Take a picture I thought that is a bit toxic. If you don't trust me, you don't have to be with me. But with regards to my location, I think it's okay. But taking a picture, knowing who I am, go and hold the blender, go and touch the wall. No, I think that is toxic.
Okay. Yeah. Dr. Kelly?
Well, I think I have a residue of the previous question before this one.
Okay.
Yeah, so what made relationships, or perhaps I think I want to settle with marriages, last in the days of our grandparents and beyond, was that I think they understood a little bit of what we lack in our generation. And that's the balance between the understanding of forgiveness and forbearance. Okay, so forgiveness is not permitted in marriage. In marriage, you don't forgive your spouse. It's childish. It's zero to forgive your spouse in marriage, because it's of no use forgiving your spouse in marriage. I say that because forgiveness indicates a non-repetition of a thing. You can tolerate that during relationship and courtship, and if there's a continuation of that same thing that they say they are sorry about, you say, okay, I forgive you, but hey, I keep you at arm's length. It's over. This is where I can take. But forbearance says, okay, beyond what you say you're sorry about, beyond forgiveness, I accept that this is how you are, and I expect that it's going to happen again, because I have the capacity to take it, to curtail it, to handle it, to receive you the way you are. So if you don't do it again, it's fine. If you repeat it again, it's who you are, and I take it the way it is. It means that I do not use what seems to be wrong against you because you've done it again. Forbearance says, I accept you how you are, where you are, with what you do, knowing that I have an assignment in your life to stick with you and for you through your life's journey, even though these are your traits.
Right.
That's the difference between forgiveness and forbearance.
I can argue with you on the fact that, coming from the man's perspective, you can say that, they were in it for that. But today, we are on the internet. The world has become a global village. When you're watching these videos where they're asking these old women, what is your advice for the youth? They never say stay with the family. They'll say, as a woman, make money. Like, our grandmothers are advising us that we have to stand up for ourselves. Our grandmothers tell us that what they went through, we shouldn't go through it. Where I used to buy my wachi, the girl wasn't. Aisha, she's an Accra. She's not an Accra girl. She was from the north. That was their whole upbringing. They will marry you off. She said when they're about to marry you, they'll give you ice kinky, mashke, paint rubber, the small one. Every day you drink one with milk, and they'll bleach you for 2 weeks before they'll come and marry you off. She said the night before they were going to marry off, the cars that bring plantain to Accra, her grandmother threw her on top of the car and told her that wherever she lands is better than where they are. That is the life she knew. Why didn't she tell her to go through it? And I think it's all coming from the self-love. Then they didn't have a voice. Then the world was different. But I think if our grandmothers, with their minds and everything, come to this generation, they will not take half of the things they took from our granddads.
See, the difference between forgiveness and forbearance in the context I'm coming from is way different from toxicity.
Okay.
I'm not saying toxicity should be understood and accepted.
But our granddads were toxic too.
That's why I'm saying I can only say a little per time based on the time slot that availed to me. So the flip of the coin is what you're addressing, which says no to toxicity, where toxicity means making anybody lower than who they should be. That is the definition of toxicity, because some other person might define toxicity as something they just don't like, and that's not toxicity.
No, it's not.
Toxicity is something that makes you less of your original self, or refuses you to grow from what you are into a better version of yourself. Now that is toxicity. But when you marry that with the understanding of forgiveness and forbearance, you realize that regardless how you look at it, forgiveness and forbearance still rules, especially when you're already married.
Right. I mean, there are minor red flags, and there are major red flags. So I'm going to ask you guys briefly, what's a deal breaker when it comes to a particular red flag for you?
A man who does not have a provider mindset, a man that cannot lead me, a man that does not understand that he's the alpha of the home. I think I love to follow. I love to be led. So if a man, that's why I say a man who is saying that, oh, I want a 50-50. I don't mind if I have to support my man because I work so hard. But for a man to come up to me and say that one thing I'm looking out for is a woman who wants 50-50 is a man who I think is a thief. Because when it comes to my chores and my responsibility as a woman, there's no way I would want you to partake 50. I would want to execute everything to the fullest, highest degree. So if you are supposed to do something and you think that you'd want to swerve it and tell me, oh, I love hardworking 50-50. I'm not hardworking. I'm very lazy when it comes. So that is a deal breaker for me.
Okay. Briefly, Dr. Kelly.
Well, there are many examples we could give, but it's going to be centralized on, does this thing I call a red flag making me less of myself?
So I'm talking about your deal breaker when it comes to a red flag.
My deal breaker is anything that doesn't promote the next best version of me, period.
Okay.
I can be dating you and you're not growing, and I am growing, and I'm trying to pull you along, and you're just feeling recalcitrant, nonchalant, or just okay with where you are, and you still feel that me pulling you is like I'm putting too much pressure on you.
That's a deal breaker for you.
That's something.
Really?
I want you to go with me. I want you to be with me where I am, so that we can be at par. I don't believe in I'm higher than you. I'm just the leader. But I don't want you to remain where you are because I see a greater version of you for you, not even for me. I'm just saying I want to be that person who wants to add so much value in you that when you look at your life 2 years before and you look at your life now, you have metamorphosed from whatever it was to whatever you are now. But if you see it as me putting pressure on you and then you don't like it, and it's like I'm forcing you and I'm making it look like
So you don't have an issue if your woman is doing better than you?
No, absolutely not. Whose name is she bearing?
Your name.
Exactly. That's one.
You have a different mindset.
So if my woman is doing better, it's my job at that point to serve her. It's for the good of us anyway. It's for the good of the household. So if she's doing better, look, tables do turn. So if it's her turn at the moment, give her all the fire and the vim and the vigor to stand at that. If my wife was the president of Ghana, for example,
you will not ask her to come home at 5 and come and cook because you know she's serving Ghana.
I don't want to marry a woman
because you know she's what?
Serving Ghana. No, she's serving God primarily. Yeah. She's living up to her potential. And then the nation comes next. And that's an agreement we agreed to. So she's representing me at the Flagstaff House. She's not representing Ghana. She's representing me because I chose to permit her agreeably to go do such a thing. You understand? So if my wife is doing, who told you my wife is doing better than me, by the way? I am the one giving her all the support and cushion to make her who she is. So she's not doing better than me. We are working together because what she is who I am, and what I am is who she is. It's just out there that it looks like she is doing better because she's at the forefront. But who is making that forefront possible? It's me. It's my blessing she's riding on.
I think my red flag in a man are the men who think women were not, like, men are better than women. You know, when you're having conversation when they say, oh, you're bad, then they say, oh, bad, dear. I cannot stand such a man. Like a man who believes that, you know, there was this primitive thing that women were created for the kitchen and the man is meant for. I don't like men like that. I would never be with you.
Okay. Yeah. Mommy, how about you?
But as we're talking about this, people are also equally living this. So what's the excuse to actually stay there if this is how you feel, but you know it's a red flag, but you're still there?
Maybe you don't. It boils down to the fact that what one can take, another cannot.
If it's working for you,
she is okay with it. She said she wants to do 100% house chore. Yeah. No. I will buy something for you too. Let's sweep together. Everybody has what they want. I want a man who would cook with me. I want a man who would clean with me, because I am not the kind of woman that will leave my entire responsibility on you. I was not made like that. I like, naturally I don't do that to my man. So I always want a man like, let's do everything together. I am the doing everything together kind of woman, because my man is my friend. But she, on the other hand, wants a man who will do everything for her, so he doesn't even have to lift a pin. So whoever is in that situation, that is not their red flag. It is my. Some women believe that women are actually secondary creations. Some people are women. It's not even men. Some women actually believe that men are better than women. Such a woman would not see the man I am talking about as a red flag.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think they're going.
Mommy, I want to know your red flag. I think you always like to listen to us.
I was just about to submit.
I was just reminding you.
I think for me, it's a man that doesn't have a plan.
Oh.
I am one person that I like to plan ahead. And I'm talking even with future, with our weekend, with our week. I'm trying to ask you, what's your plans for the week? Because the moment I know your plans, I'm able to know how to go about mine as well.
That kind of person. Every week you plan your.
I plan my week.
Yeah.
Or I'll ask you, how's your day going? What's your day looking like? You know,
Exactly.
I dislike, for me, a red flag is a man that will just say, I don't know, I'm just going with the flow. That's in terms of life.
You always like to prepare
I
ahead.
need to know your 5-year plan. I need to know your
short-term goal.
Oh yeah, I need to know your short-term goal. I need to know your
Yeah, it's true.
You know,
I think that is like
every
basic
moment.
requirement in every
The
relationship.
key word is follow who know roads.
So if you don't know that,
Why am I following you?
It's supposed to be your head. So when
Yes. So I cannot stand a man that doesn't know how to
you look
plan.
out for great leadership in a man.
I look for great leadership, but most importantly, I need to know that you have a plan. You have a weekly plan, you have a daily plan, you have a yearly plan, you have a long-term plan. Because I'm not about to, even in terms of, and I feel like that's the conversation a lot of women don't have. Because when you jump into a relationship and you haven't asked this man a question about what's your long-term plan, and you are just dating him, for all you know, the man wants to get married in 10 years. But your plan is to get married in the next 1 year.
Yeah.
Because you haven't had that conversation, or you don't know, you don't really look out for those things. You are just going with the flow. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I cannot do that. It's like, I cannot.
But don't you think that sometimes you just have to allow things be? You might wait. Mommy, I'm getting. Maybe we have a plan, but let's see how it goes.
We
You see, one man's meat is another's poison. That's all I said.
No. But what is wrong is wrong.
No, but you see, when
You
you
can't
say
be sailing on que sera,
no, but
whatever will be.
I don't wake up to plan my
All will
day.
be well.
But I know my 5-year plan.
Okay.
I am not I am throw caution to the wind.
Yeah, but
I know what I want.
Yeah.
There are some I am not. If you are maybe if my man was my mate, I would not be able to date her. Why must we plan every second of our
So the question
spontaneity?
here- okay, so the question
it's
here
beautiful
is-
too sometimes.
Are we able to fix people's red flags? So in a situation like this, where maybe I've started dating a man,
Right.
and I've noticed that this person is terrible when it comes to planning. Am I able to fix? I feel like who you are is who you are.
No, mommy, you can change. You can change something. You can't change. Listen, mommy, let me tell you something.
If a person changes for you,
Mommy,
it's only a matter of time.
You think so?
No, but you can influence
Mommy,
somebody
if there's
to
something
be a
wrong with
better
you,
version of themselves. You can actually influence that.
Yeah.
No one can change anyone. But
then you have to be willing to change before you can
But your
change.
lifestyle can influence someone to change for themselves. A man or woman who changes for their spouse makes it look temporary. When they are under pressure, they will go back to factory setting.
no, when you like something and the thing is not going well, you can change for that person.
Exactly. Project for them their pluses, but then cushion their weaknesses in such a way that their weaknesses begin to flip into positives by standing with them. Standing with them doesn't mean nagging. Standing with them doesn't mean ridiculing or making them feel less than themselves or mockery or whatever it is. Make them. How about you say, you are so fantastic at drawing. Each time you draw, it blows my mind. Can we give a little bit more attention to painting? I feel you'd be an awesome painter if we give that a try. If you consistently talk like that, you are correcting or improving him by way of intentional suggestion and not dictatorship or a way of nagging to say that all he can do is just draw. You get what I'm saying? So that's where you need to put in, you need to understand his pluses and minuses and appreciate both. The lack of appreciation of both doesn't help you be a helper to him. So you need to appreciate both to know how to cushion, how to push, and how to blow up one depending on how they go. So first of all, what are his weaknesses? Don't date or marry somebody who's all good. You need to know what he does when he's angry. You need to know what he does when he's confused. You need to know what he does when he's under pressure.
Yes.
That's how to manage the affairs of a man's mastery, such that you no longer see his weaknesses as downfalls now. You see his weaknesses as a challenge you are sent to his life to fix.
Okay, so with regards to what she said, I think that yes, you can change people, but one, the person should be willing to change.
Absolutely.
And two is the person should like you enough that they would want to change, because there are people who are Muslims and they want to marry a Christian. They would have to convert their religion. And also I realized that there are certain things about people that you can change. You have two decisions. It's either to stay and manage or to leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
Abna, I'll ask you this question and I'll throw it over here, and this is our last question before we take a quick break. Can any green flag outweigh a red flag?
Yeah. There are some men that are very polygamous. I have friends who, when we're young, would tell you that they could bet their heads that they would never share their man, and they met a man and he did everything to the extent that now you don't even feel the presence of the other woman, and they're asking themselves, they will fight and they will come and ask themselves, why am I even fighting? This man does everything for me. There are some men that are so handy, like they are there for you, like they are you when they are there, you don't need any tools, but you don't need a plumber, but they don't have money. There are some men that are so romantic, they will cook for you, they will clean, they are the best lovers. They too, they don't have any money. So you see, I think there are some green flags that would overshadow a red flag. Some women even stay through abuse because of what the man does afterwards. Whatever the man would. I have a friend who's, whenever her husband cheats, she gets either a car or something else.
Oh.
So now, you see, so now whenever he goes to cheat, the thing that she'll get after is like, my sister, the people are doing it for free. And then when he cheats and she's angry, she'll come and she'll lambast him to us and all that. But after she has got the gifts and everything, she's like, why am I even complaining? And then she'll stay. So I think, some green flags for some people can overshadow some reds.
Okay, so we're going to do this, a rapid hypothetical question, and you need to answer at the same time. Don't think too much.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And you also have to be very quick and rapid with your question. I mean, the response.
Answers.
Yeah. So your partner avoids introducing you to their friends or family.
Red flag. No, how long have we been dating though?
Either way, it's partner's
Exactly,
partner.
there are things to consider.
Partner or partner.
Okay.
They get defensive when you express your feelings.
Red flag. No, it depends on how I express my. I can be loud at times.
There's still occasions,
I know I can be.
conditions to
No, but
do
like
that.
generally, that's because we have to answer. So generally,
I mean red
Okay,
flag.
so
No,
red flag. Okay, if we must answer just because we want to answer, there's a red
it's
flag.
not just because sometimes when
There
somebody's
are
head.
considerations to look into before I call it.
but
a
we're
red
just
flag.
having like
But you can't tell
something
me how to
general.
express my anger if you offended me. Don't you think so?
Okay, moving on. Your partner wants access to all your social media passwords.
Red flag.
No, it's not a red
Unless
flag.
I'm a cheat. It is a red flag.
there's nothing wrong
It is a
with it.
red
There's
flag.
absolutely
It
nothing
is
wrong with
everything
it.
wrong
Why
with it.
should I not
Why are
look
we
into
here?
your gadgets if I want to?
Why? No, if you want to hear, but you can't tell me that.
We are
Give
a
me
team.
access to. No,
I don't need to
And
ask.
the two, you know,
I was married
I
away
want to
before I
ask.
became your wife. So now you want to have? Do I have access
What are
to
you
your
hiding?
bank card?
What are you
I
hiding?
hide nothing.
So why don't
But
you want to share with me?
I am not
You
a child.
should.
I don't want. I will not give my mother my social media handle. Not because I am.
Because your mother is not your partner.
No, you don't get. Not because
you don't- you
I
don't-
want privacy. When we're 16 and we're
privacy?
17, you didn't want our parents in our room.
If you want
not because
privacy,
we're
stay
bringing
on
boys
your own.
over.
Don't date, don't marry, stay on
I
your
was a
own.
full-grown human being before
Nah,
you became
it
my
has
man.
nothing to do with
There is something
adulthood or
called
maturity.
boundaries. The fact
There's
that you are
no
my husband
boundary in a relationship.
does not
There's
mean that
no
I don't have any
boundaries
privacy.
refuse-
I must have a certain level of
No,
privacy. I have to be able
boundaries
to
do
tell
not
something to
exist.
mommy that I don't want my husband to know. I want to be able to tell something to my friend. Your husband is not your every friend. Why? It's not everything that you go and tell him that.
Don't you think that? Don't you think that telling your husband that you wouldn't give him access to your social media
so it's
make it
everything.
so you seem like you're hiding something?
In my home, my friends were shocked when you come to my house. No, my husband can leave his phone here and go out the whole day. I will leave my phone there and come back the whole day. He can take my phone. But the moment you tell me, give me access to all your social, why? What am I doing? You don't need to ask. Unless I have given you reason. Unless I have given you reason to doubt me before. Unless you have caught me cheating before.
No.
Unless I've done something funny.
Listen,
it is a red flag for me. I am not a child.
It doesn't have to.
Okay,
in fact, you are a child to keep it away from your man.
I am not keeping it away. It is here. But why must I give you, like, you want to log into my Snap?
What is wrong with that?
Are you bored?
Ladies and gentlemen, moving on.
Okay.
You find out your partner lied about their past relationship.
Red flag.
Red flag. That's a Jeffrey Dahmer.
Move on. Red flag is red flag.
Okay, and the last question. They say I love you after the first date.
Oh, that is that. Is there any color after red?
It's not a red flag.
Any color that's bright?
It's not a red flag. It's a choice. Love is a choice. It's not a
tomato red. Tomato.
No. I'm like, you met someone.
You decide who you want.
You met me right now. You love me.
Nothing wrong with that. What if I say before I meet you, I already love you because I'm prepared to commit to you the moment that it clicks on me that you are the one?
Hey, poo, you are a liar.
Personal opinion.
I'm not even talking about relationships. You know how those times when somebody texts you, they don't know you from anywhere, they say I miss you.
You don't miss someone you've never met before.
What do you see?
I'm like, you've never met someone you've never met before.
Unless you and I have a relationship. But if I've never spoken to you before,
really?
I don't know you. How do I miss you? How can I not miss you?
There's something about the person that makes you want to miss them.
You've never had an interaction before. What do you miss about me?
How can you?
So make it make sense.
I thought guests can say we've missed Abna.
No, because we have an interaction.
Okay.
So there's you just met me today, mommy. What do you miss about me?
Everything I encountered on the day I met you.
Okay, you say your red flag in a relationship is a woman who doesn't climb over.
Like she doesn't want to grow, improve her life.
You said you saw her today. No, you didn't even know that this girl doesn't want to improve her life. You say you love her. Then you go and they realize that this girl, she doesn't improve her life.
Actually, you have a point, Abna.
Would you still love her though?
Listen,
that is not love.
That's why I said love is not a feeling. It's a choice. When I say I love you, I mean to say that the things I see, the things I'm going to discover, I am sticking with you to make it work with you. You see, the thing is this.
If I slap your mother, you will stick with me.
Listen, I should divorce you because you slapped my mother.
So if I slap your mother, you will not divorce. Why should I?
Still alive. It's not a...
when he comes home, ask him a question.
Why should marriage be so conditional? Do you know what love is?
Your mother.
Listen, if my wife slaps my mother,
if my husband slaps my mother,
are you going to listen to me?
Okay.
If my wife slaps my mother, I'm going to ask why. I'm going to find out why. Okay. Sending her out of the house doesn't mean that the next wife who would come.
So there has to be a reason why your wife
should slap your mother.
No, but you need to know what happened.
Issue. Something must have led to something.
Yeah.
You don't just kick I don't just kick my wife out. If my mother had slapped my wife, what should I do? Slap my mother?
Oh, your mother will go to her husband's house, eh?
No.
You go to your husband's house.
There's
but she's still your mother?
There's a thing called conflict resolution. Mm-hmm. Conflict resolution doesn't come by impulse. It doesn't come by you see, when we know, you see, the thing is this, it's okay how you all feel. But you see, when you know better, you do better. Period.
I think I said when you say that you want to know the reason. Because even if you don't address it, the next wife,
that's what I'm saying.
Do the same thing.
What guarantees that the next wife will not kill your mother?
Yeah.
Really?
So when
we divorce, you don't marry another one. Why
when you break up, you don't get my wife. But my wife cannot slap my mother.
It's not okay for your mother.
What is wrong is wrong.
We started this conversation on the basis of you said you love this girl when you don't know her. That is where I brought the part like that. What if she's somebody?
To address any matter that is wrong, must always start with dialogue.
Yeah.
Not immediate action.
Yeah.
Not sporadic.
And you need to know the root cause of it. Yes.
You need to know why.
You see,
and it takes process to
when we
things.
started the red flag thing, I told you that there are some things that are weaknesses and there are red flags. Like a woman who doesn't want your family. Like there's a woman who will marry you and say, it's me and you. Your family cannot come.
Yeah.
Like all of those things. And you tell, what are you saying? There are some people like that. There's no conflict whatever. It is embedded in a brain. When I marry my man, I don't want his mother, I don't want his sister, I don't want his brother in the house. And you came from a family, let's say your mother was a single mom, took care of you all her life. There was no dad. You've met this girl that you said from the first day you met her, you love her, you love this girl. You have married her now. She said, don't bring your mother here. Your mother is your all. You are the, let's say you have siblings. You are the head of your family now because there is no daddy. And this woman is telling you this. You're telling him that you sit her down and say, because the other woman might come and kill your mother. No. The question Mommy asked was that you can't love somebody.
The question Mommy asked was that you can't. After the first day,
no. You still love is so you can see these things and still love the person.
Why not? Love is a choice.
Yeah, I will love you and stay away from. I will love you and leave you.
That's why
I can love you with all my heart.
That's why I say,
and I will love you from afar.
That's why
I will love you and leave you.
That's why I say love is a choice.
Yeah.
If I say I am loving you,
you're loving everything that comes with you.
In place, in perspective, things you will do which I'm not even aware you're about to do. So you've not even done certain things, but I'm loving you in advance of what you could do to
have a big heart.
Are you married?
That's how it should be.
Are you married?
It doesn't matter. Love is what love.
Are you married? I have a friend for you.
My answer does not fix what love should be.
No, because you're very the way you're thinking.
That's what the world should be like.
But that's what it is.
So nothing should change you. Stick to who you are.
Okay, do you know what? I feel
society shouldn't define you.
Guys.
Why are we the light of the world?
Hello.
So that we can shine bright.
Well, I'm not the light of nobody's world.
Do you know what? I have never needed a break so much like right now. Because there's a lot of information that I need to process right now. I need to process a lot of things. Yeah. Guys, bear with me. Let's take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Can we make a toast for the lady?
Break. It's now time for one last laugh. We scout online to find videos we find funny and share them with you. Let's see what video made it to our one last laugh table. I can't stop laughing. Whoever has a rule boldly written on the dashboard of his car. I mean, my car, my rules, right? As don't eat in the car. But this passenger says, no way. My money, my rules. You can't tell me what to do.
God have mercy upon us.
He can see that there's something written. He doesn't know what it is.
Because the way this man is pulling
the
he
confidence.
he really doesn't care. Well, the comment section is sometimes even more funnier than the video. Let's take a look at a few of them. Problem is different from yours. Destique said, Stubborn Academy. Someone said, but they didn't mention his name. Of course, they didn't mention his name. Testamentally said he was like airplane cry, you do not taxi. So that's all we have for you tonight on What Says With Me, everybody.
One last laugh.
Again,
one last laugh.
We'll be right back.
Interesting show tonight. Ganyabi, what's been your favorite highlight? Actually, what's that one thing that you can actually say you actually learned?
I think my perspective of our gentleman here, he said something that he's earned my respect. With the fact that if he is with a woman and the woman is refusing to grow, that is a red flag. Like a partner like this would always empower you to be the best version of yourself, to always move forward and not to be afraid to be yourself. So I don't know your partner, but I think your partner is such a blessed person to have a very kind gentleman with a very open mindset about life. Yeah.
Dr. Kelly, what's been your favorite highlights, and what's your final words as well to the viewers?
I just hate this fact that we never have enough time.
Yeah, I know.
So for counseling sessions and every other situation you want to reach out to me on Instagram, I'm at Kelly Daniels Office. On Facebook, I'm Dr. Kelly Daniels, but just reach out on Instagram at Kelly Daniels Office. What am I taking home today? Variation of opinions is key to respect. And then the second thing is the fact that, truthfully speaking, when we know better, we do better. Basically.
Abna?
I've learned today that what one person can take, another person can't. So when you're leaving that ex, you think nobody wants them, somebody will take my ex and hold him gladly. So I've realized that, like, and I learned something from him too today, that there is somebody for everybody. Basically, like, what you can't take, somebody can. So if you think you don't have anybody, have faith, yours will come. Somebody can handle you and all your red flags.
Well, you've had it from my
You don't say anything.
amazing guest. I was just one man's red flag is another man's green flag, and that's
Green forest.
Thank you very much. And that's one thing I've definitely heard. But it's been an amazing show. I'd like to acknowledge our proud sponsors, GBH Relaxer, and then also to Nas Calabash for making these awesome cocktails for us.
And sugar coated.
You know?
Coating with sugar today.
Thank you.
Before we wrap up with the show, let's toast to life and to you at home. Thank you so much.
And to good partners.
Yeah, red flags, no, green flags.
Yeah,
yes.
green forest.